Welcome to week 5. You made it through to another week. Congratulations. This week is on how to write a good research proposal. Now you've now gone through the whole process of formulating a research question, coming up with a good study design. The purpose of this lecture is to provide you with the information you need to write a research proposal. A research proposal is a complete description of your intended research. We need to have a research proposal to guide us when we conduct our research, as we can't remember everything in our heads. A research proposal is essentially your passport to apply for funding, ethics, and entry into a postgraduate program. The example of how a research proposal looks like is shown in this slide. Let's go through each section. The title of your study should be as descriptive as possible. It would be a good idea to incorporate PICO into your study title, as it will then provide readers with a complete description of your study. If possible, you can provide a punchy project title or use acronyms. However, as a general rule, the title should not be more than 20 words. An abstract is a brief summary of your research proposal. It provides your readers with the main points and conclusion of your proposal. Many reviewers will often just read the abstract, so your abstract is really important and should be written in such a way that it is concise, interesting, and packed with information. Although an abstract is placed in the first few pages of the research proposal, it is probably the last section you will write, as it is the summary of a research proposal. The next two sections are talking about the introduction and background information. Now, what's the difference between an introduction and background information, you might ask? The introduction introduces the area of research. It should get your readers' attention. You need to show that your study has not been done before and that your proposed project will add something new to existing literature. This section is like the trailer that you see in movies. Movie trailers are usually exciting and leave the audience hanging in the air, wanting to know more. Similarly, that's what an introduction of a research proposal should be. Can be stated here. How is your research beneficial? To whom is it beneficial for? You can always include your hypothesis, aims, and objectives in this section. Aim is the overall intention of your study, whereas objectives are specific points which you would like your study to achieve. Be clear and concise when stating your objectives. Avoid stating too many. Remember that your objectives should be measurable and feasible. Methodology describes how you will achieve your research aims. This section can be divided into several sections. Firstly, study design. You need to describe which study design you selected and why. Study location is where you are recruiting your participants or collecting your data from. You will need to justify why you selected the site, as readers would want to know. Next, you will need to describe your participants in detail. This includes the inclusion and exclusion criteria. You will then need to calculate your sample size. Now, calculation is based on previous research. This can be performed via consultation with a statistician or using online sample size calculation tools. How did you recruit participants? How was consent obtained? Which method did you use? By convenience sampling or random sampling. Did you use any instruments, such as questionnaires, in your study? Was it validated? Why was this instrument chosen? If you are conducting a qualitative study, did you use a topic guide? How was it developed? Describe how your data will be analysed and what the expected outcome should be. What is the significance of your research? Was there likely benefit? Is your study ethical? You need to assure your participants that confidentiality will be assumed and that all data will be anonymized. Approval for ethics needs to be obtained before you start your study. Summary and conclusions. This will actually help the reviewer identify the most important information about your research project. Your research proposal requires proper referencing. You can use the software to help you with this. There are many in the market. And to cite while you write, as this will make the process of writing your research proposal easier. A Gantt chart is essential for effective monitoring of a project. Basically, a Gantt chart is like a calendar of all the things that you're going to do within the study period. Certain stages requires more time, and this should be allocated appropriately. A certain amount of money is also required to conduct research. Preparing a budget allows you to purchase the equipment or to claim back expenses incurred. An appendix should include all relevant information needed as supplementary reading material for the reviewer. Examples of these are shown on the slide. You will also need to identify your research team. Once identified, some research proposals will require you to include their CVs and their signature as proof of agreement.